Nomis J in the building. What's going on, people? Excuse the noise in the background. Got the fan on for a minute, man. Kind of hot. Just wanted to come and talk to y'all again about this NBA draft, man. It just passed this past Thursday, as we all know. Quite some of y'all probably sick hearing about, but I just got something on my chest. I'm gonna talk about. This is a little bit risky. You know, at the end of the day, this video is not gonna be pretty. The fan base is kind of torn in between, and then you got a few like me that's kind of like in the middle. Like most of us are in the middle from the very first pick all the way up to everything that happened in the last pick of the draft. Some people had their mixed emotions about if the draft was good or not. So I'm kind of here to talk about all three of the perspectives, or both perspectives if you want to go that way about it. You know, for the people who are upset about the draft, when it comes to Sekou Doumbouya, you know, you have to understand, man, this guy's upside is humongous. Yes, Kevin Porter Jr. is a somewhat kind of inconsistent shooter, but for what Sekou brings, man, I believe this pick was much more worth it. This is a guy who's selected as a top 10 talent, and it's not even just about that. It's about this guy's ability, what he's going to develop into, is which I'm more concerned with. It's not about his draft stock. While we got him at 15, it has nothing to do with stock. For me, I see this guy as the eye test. You know, this guy has so much ability, and for those who are high on him, you know what I'm saying, who feel like this guy should start, maybe in due time he will. You know, it's Tony Snell's job to lose as a starter. To me, I'm going to pencil him in for now, but you know, it's his job to lose as the season goes on. If this kid Doumbouya, you know, proceeds to get better and better, I could see him maybe get more minutes eventually to where he may start. If somebody gets hurt, he probably will be the guy to start. It's really up in the air as far as you know, if he should start. I say let him groom and wait for a few games, or you know, you could start him early in the season and let him get his feet wet. You know, see how well he plays when it's early, and you know, you're allowed to make mistakes because it's not an important part of the season. You know what I'm saying? So I think I don't think we should put too much stock on and, you know, stress about who should start, you know what I'm saying, when it comes to him, because this is the guy who's going to be the future anyway. So I don't think that we have to worry about that as much right now. I don't think we should stress ourselves out about who gets the starting lineup between him and Snell. At the end of the day, Snell's making like $23 million from this year, between this year and next year. So money-wise, it would say that he's the starter, but we'll see due time. Now, the part of the draft I really want to talk about is not that. It's more on the lines of the whole 30th pick scenario. See, that's where this video gets risky, talking about it, because you have some fans that were fine with this draft entirely. You have a lot of fans who hated half of the draft, and you got some, like again, like myself, who are kind of like in the middle. Y'all have to look and understand, for those who are fine with the draft, you have to understand the anger of why some people were upset why we didn't get a KC Akpala with that 30th pick, or a Kevin Porter Jr. or whoever else. You have to understand is this: the Pistons have, you know, been not the best drafting team in the league, and at the end of the day, you know, you got 2 first-round picks, and you traded to get rid of a guy, you know, and got a first-round pick. In my mind, you should take the best advantage of that pick, man, and get the best guy you can get for it. Otherwise, you made that pick not look as good. So now, you know, it seems like a waste if you trade that pick away and you don't really get much in return for it. You know what I mean? And the Pistons, you know, again, for a team that's not the best drafting team, they have to find guys who can best help now and for the future. So I can't really blame people for why they missed out. And it's not just that. It's this persona that every player we pass up on that we should have had to get comes back later and haunts us. And, you know, you have to take for that example. Now, me personally, I don't play scared. You know, if a player will score average 25 every time they see us, well, they just go average 25 every time they see us. We still have a job to do, and that's to win, you know, basketball games, regardless of another player turning out versus the other. So that's why you have to play defense, and I don't think Kevin Porter plays that well defense. But still, you know, you had Carson Edwards, Casey Akapala, who they had a private workout with. You know, that should insinuated that they were heavily interested in him. You know, it's just that I can't really fathom giving that first round pick away for future second round picks. Even though we got some cash in return for it, that if you don't do anything with that cash that's going to be good, you know what I'm saying, that could come back and haunt you for years to come. And I can understand why the fan base would be upset about this situation. Some of the people in the fan base who are upset, I can understand with you. I'm kind of upset about it too. It wasn't that so badly I wanted Kevin Porter Jr. It's just if it was somebody else who's a better shooter than him that we didn't think about, we could have got him, or we could play defense along with it. I felt we could have got him, and we didn't. But that's not even my biggest issue with it. Is that you traded away the 30th pick, and then you go and trade 3 of those picks, the 45th pick that you already had, and 2 of the other picks that you got, to go back to the 37th pick and get a dude who's going to take maybe 3 years before he can probably even make the roster on a respectable level. And that's the part I have an issue with. It's not that we actually went and got Servetus. It's the matter of how we got him that makes me upset. Because I know it's like other guys who can play and do exactly the same thing he does, who come from more NBA prep like colleges, like Big Ten conferences, or you know, SEC conferences. You had guys like Ryan Klein, who probably could have been picked up. You know, you had other point guards or other small forwards that you could have went and got. You could have even traded up and possibly got Brazdeikis, depending on if he was there or not. And you went and get this guy who's from Lithuania program, and he probably has to still finish overseas. Well, rumor has it, I'm hearing that they're going to allow him to play Summer League. I think he's on a roster. And, you know, it's not to knock the kid, but you don't go from having the Kevin Porter Jr. right in front of you to going to get another guy in the second round who may not even make your roster over the next few years. See, that's what alarms me. You know, you talking about building for now and the future. I don't know, man. I just don't know. There's a lot of offensive players that, to me, in college, they could have did exactly what this guy does. I just feel like the Pistons just make these bad draft moves, man, that just don't make sense. You know what I'm saying? That kind of hurts. And again, it's not to slam the kid. I think he's going to be a nice player someday. But what it is that, you know, you can't sit there when you're a team that's not usually known for drafting good, you know what I'm saying, then you give up on a player. It kind of makes the fan base question where, you know, where your mentality is on building a team. Now, us as fans don't ultimately know better than the GMs or not, who's the guys who are building the team, but still, you have to understand, like, you know, you could have probably undrafted him, or at some point, you know, I like to believe you could have. And then, you know, I'm fine with the pick, of course, about Jordan Bone. You know, I'm 100% glad we got him. It is what it is. Now, but on the positive side, though, for those who are upset, you have to understand this too. I feel like the way the organization is right now, Stefanski is actually trying to make up for mistakes that other people made in the past. I really do feel like that's why he made some moves in the draft and why he made those trades. He's really trying to patch up the mistakes, people, that you have to understand. You know, from us trading away Marcus Morris and some draft picks to get Avery Bradley, and that didn't work out. Then you traded him with more draft picks than we had in the future for Blake Griffin. And as much as everybody likes Blake Griffin, you know, his contract is hefty, and it did kind of take a lot of draft picks away from us for building towards the future, man. And that's kind of why I hated that trade undercover. It's not about Blake and his health, but it's more on the lines of his contract and his health, and then you took a lot of our building blocks for the future away, and you still need help at the point guard position. And that's why I was upset about that. Not to mention, you know, the picks we gave up again, you know, due to the fact of the matter. What was another trade we made? I think before that year. You know, yeah, that we have been missing out on draft picks. We let Dinwiddie walk. And you add up all those factors and all our assets that we took away, and then taking on these bad contracts. And Stefanski is actually low-key trying to do the best he can. And that's low-key why he might have traded that 30th pick. It was to get draft picks for the future, man, because we really scarce on those. Even though, to me, it's kind of crazy to trade 3 of your second-round picks that you got to trade back into the second round for a player again that comes from Lithuania. It kind of kills that part at the same time for me, but I kind of get where he's coming from. This team was loaded right now with second-round picks, people, and now we just added a first-round pick who's going to take some time to develop. So you got, last year you came in with just 1 second-round pick and end up trading for the rights and end up having 2, which is Kyrie Thomas and Bruce Brown, plus the Reggie Bullock trade. You got to see Mikhailuk in mid-season. So you had 3 young prospects right there, and you still came in this draft and got 3 or 4. And plus the undrafted, our first undrafted free agent we signed is a stud too. So you know they got some building blocks for the future, and those second-round picks, you know, they're to me it's a security blanket. We don't know. You know, somebody gets hurt near the future, where we let go of some people, we may use that draft to help build the depth behind some of the guys we have here now. So at least there's that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not sure when some of these second-round picks are going to be available to us. Maybe we'll have 1 or 2 next year, or maybe 1 next year, and then maybe we'll have, right, because I think we'll still end up making trades in the next couple draft classes that come anyway. So I think they'll still get 1 regardless. But he was trying to make up for past mistakes. You have to understand that. Even if even though I personally don't like to pick a Servetus like that, I still kind of understand what he was doing. Some people say he overthought it and was, you know, beating themselves on his picks. I understand. You know, when you think about all the stress this organization has been over since the 04 boys been gone, we need somebody to come in here trying to develop a system. One thing Dwayne Casey does have is a system that he's trying to get developed. When you look at the roster, we look depth in about 4 areas. I still think we need a center, definitely to back up Andre, where it'd be a young guy. Like I said, I've been promoting us to get Aaron Moreland back, or hell, promote Johnny Hamilton and see if he can do something behind him until further notice. But you know, this year in the draft, it wasn't that great of a year for centers or point guards like that. This is more of a forward wing shooting guard type of year, and maybe power forward year. But anyway, you know, so I say the Stefanski may not seem like Bob Quinn, but right now, but what it is due to the situation we was in. He had to kind of take some risk. And again, I'm not trying to get people to like what he did. I'm trying not to get people to hate what he did. But you just have to understand that because people in the past who were idiots destroyed the organization, sometimes you have to do what seems like an idiot move to kind of fix things, but it may not be an idiot move. So I'm just asking y'all to hang in with Stefanski, give him another year and see how well his team develop. And then we'll give a more crucial judgment on if he is the right GM. I think he's done a good job for the most part. I know that Kevin Porter Jr., Casey Akpala, Carson Edwards passing on him may seem bad, but at the end of the day, if you got a system that can play defense and defend against guys like this, it kind of makes it better. Only time will tell, though, ultimately, so we'll see from here on out. But I just wanted to answer those questions for the fans who were kind of like in the middle, or who hated the situation with the draft, or who loved the situation with the draft, and to let you guys know that we all have to see and understand each other's points of view from it. I'm in the middle, as y'all can see. I'm just waiting and seeing now. Maybe those picks should just be picks. We don't need them to be like our lifesaver. Like, again, that's why you have to have a system and a scheme to build for, as we've been learning from the Lions, and the same thing goes for any other sport. You know, at the end of the day, defense wins championships, and we'll just see how things go from here on out. So y'all leave in the comment section, man, how y'all feel about it. You know, if you like anything I say, hit the subscribe button. Subscribe all to DSA members, man. Their links will be on their channels will be in the description. And thank you for watching this video. It's your boy Nomis J in the building, and I'm out the building. Peace.